Alright, settle in, gentlemen. Let's talk about attraction. For too long, the narrative has been dominated by the usual suspects. The jawline, the bank account, the car you drive, or how many reps you can squeeze out on the bench press. And sure, those things might get you a second glance, maybe even a fleeting moment of interest. But here's the cold, hard truth. They're the equivalent of a flashy billboard on a highway. They grab attention, but they don't tell you anything about the journey, the destination, or the quality of the ride. Today, we're ripping off the Band-Aid and diving deep into the subtle, often overlooked, yet profoundly powerful traits that truly captivate women. These aren't about flexing your muscles or your wallet. They're about flexing your character, your mind, and your very essence. Think of it like this. Anyone can buy a fancy suit, but it takes a real man to wear it with genuine confidence and a twinkle in his eye. We're going beyond the surface-level sizzle and getting into the slow-burn magnetic qualities that make a woman think, there's something genuinely different about him. This isn't about being someone you're not. It's about refining the man you already are, unlocking the hidden gems within. So, dim the lights, grab a pen, and prepare to have your perspective shifted, because by the end of this, you'll understand why the truly attractive man isn't just seen, he's felt. Let's kick things off with something that seems so simple, yet is shockingly rare in its purest form. Genuine curiosity. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of curiosity that asks, what do you do, and then immediately checks out. I'm talking about the kind that makes you lean in, the kind that asks, why, and how did that make you feel? It's the insatiable desire to understand, to explore, to connect with another person's inner world. Imagine a detective, not just looking for clues, but truly fascinated by the story behind the crime. That's the level of engagement we're talking about. When you show genuine curiosity, you're essentially telling someone, I find you fascinating. Your thoughts, your experiences, your unique perspective, they matter to me. This isn't about interrogation. It's about invitation. It's about creating a space where the other person feels seen, heard, and valued for who they are, not just for what they can offer. It's a powerful signal that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely invested in the conversation. Moving seamlessly from understanding others to understanding yourself, our second underrated trait is emotional intelligence, particularly self-awareness. This isn't about being a therapist. It's about knowing your own emotional landscape. It's the ability to recognize your feelings, understand where they come from, and manage them constructively. Think of it like a skilled captain navigating a ship through a storm. He knows his vessel, he understands the winds, and he can adjust his sails accordingly. A man who is self-aware doesn't lash out in anger and then wonder why. He understands the trigger, processes the emotion, and responds thoughtfully. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, his fears and his aspirations. This self-knowledge translates into stability, reliability, and a quiet confidence that is incredibly attractive. It means less drama, more understanding, and a partner who isn't constantly projecting their unresolved issues onto you. It's the bedrock upon which healthy relationships are built, and women instinctively recognize and appreciate that solid foundation. Next up, let's inject a little levity into the mix, playfulness and lightheartedness. Now, before you start practicing your stand-up routine, understand this isn't about being a clown. It's about the ability to not take yourself too seriously, to find joy in the mundane, and to inject a sense of fun into interactions. Life can be heavy, right? Bills, responsibilities, the existential dread of Mondays. A man who can cut through that with a witty remark, a silly observation, or a spontaneous burst of laughter is like a breath of fresh air. He's the guy who can turn a boring wait into an impromptu game of I Spy, or make a mundane chore feel like an adventure. This trait signals flexibility, adaptability, and a healthy perspective. It says, I can handle the serious stuff, but I also know how to enjoy the ride. It creates an environment where laughter is abundant, stress is diffused, and genuine connection flourishes. It's the secret ingredient that turns a good time into a great one. From the playful to the practical, let's talk about resourcefulness. This is the trait of a man who doesn't just identify problems. He finds solutions. He's the guy who, when faced with a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, doesn't panic and wait for a tow truck. He figures out how to change it, even if it means watching a YouTube video on his phone. It's about adaptability, ingenuity, and a can-do attitude. This isn't about being a handyman, though that certainly helps. It's about a mindset. It's the ability to think on your feet, to improvise, and to overcome obstacles with creativity and determination. In a world that often feels overwhelming, a resourceful man is a rock. He's someone you can rely on, someone who inspires confidence, and someone who makes you feel like, no matter what curveball life throws, you'll figure it out together. It's the ultimate demonstration of competence and capability. Following closely on the heels of resourcefulness is self-sufficiency, or the complete lack of neediness. This is crucial, gentlemen. There's a vast difference between wanting someone and needing someone to complete you. A self-sufficient man has his own life, his own interests, his own friends, and his own sense of purpose. He doesn't need a woman to validate him, entertain him, or fill a void. He's already a complete person, and he seeks a partner to share his already rich life with, not to fix or complete it. Think of it like two strong trees growing side by side, their roots intertwined, but each standing tall on its own. They support each other, but neither would collapse without the other. This independence is incredibly attractive because it signals strength, confidence, and emotional maturity. It frees a woman from the burden of being your sole source of happiness and allows her to be attracted to you for who you are, not for what you can give her. Now let's talk about the art of genuinely connecting, active listening. This goes far beyond simply hearing words. Active listening is about truly absorbing, understanding, and responding to what another person is communicating, both verbally and non-verbally. It's about giving someone your undivided attention, making eye contact, nodding, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure understanding. Imagine trying to catch a delicate butterfly. You don't just swat at it, you approach it gently, observe its movements, and extend your hand with care. That's how you should approach a conversation. When you actively listen, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're demonstrating respect, empathy, and a profound interest in the other person's perspective. It makes people feel valued, understood, and safe to express themselves. In a world full of distractions and superficial interactions, a man who truly listens is a rare and magnetic force. Moving from connection to conviction, our seventh trait is passion and purpose. This isn't about having a six-figure job or a grand master plan for world domination. It's about having something, anything, that genuinely ignites your soul. It could be a hobby, a cause, a creative pursuit, or a professional ambition. The point is, you have something that drives you, something that you dedicate energy and enthusiasm to. Think of a craftsman meticulously working on his art, completely absorbed and radiating a quiet intensity. That kind of focused energy is incredibly attractive. When a man is passionate about something, it shows he has depth, interests beyond himself, and the capacity for dedication. It signals that he's not just drifting through life, but actively building something, learning, and growing. This kind of inner fire is contagious and inspiring, making him a more vibrant and engaging individual to be around. Our eighth trait is closely related to curiosity, but with a more subtle nuance: thoughtful observance. This is about noticing the small things, the details that often go unnoticed by others. It's remembering a casual comment she made about her favorite obscure band, noticing the subtle change in her mood, or picking up on a small gesture that reveals something about her personality. This isn't about being creepy or overly analytical. It's about being present and attuned to the world around you, especially the people in it. Think of a skilled artist who sees the subtle shades and textures that others miss. When you demonstrate thoughtful observance, you're showing that you pay attention, that you care enough to notice, and that you value the nuances of her personality. It makes a woman feel truly seen and appreciated for who she is, not just for a superficial impression. These small acts of recognition build deep connection and make her feel uniquely understood. As we near the end of our list, let's talk about a trait that speaks volumes about character: resilience. Life is messy. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments that knock you down. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to learn from adversity, and to keep moving forward with grace and determination, It's not about never falling. It's about how you get back up. Imagine a sturdy oak tree weathering a storm. It bends, it sways, but its roots hold firm and it stands tall again when the winds subside. A resilient man doesn't crumble under pressure or wallow in self-pity. He faces challenges head-on, adapts, and emerges stronger. This trait signals inner strength, emotional fortitude, and a positive outlook. It reassures a woman that you can navigate life's inevitable difficulties, not just for yourself, but as a reliable partner. It's the quiet promise that even when things get tough, you won't give up. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, let's talk about authenticity and vulnerability. This is the trait that ties everything else together. Authenticity is about being genuinely yourself, flaws and all, without pretense or a mask. Vulnerability is the courage to show that true self, to admit when you don't know something, to share your fears, and to express your true feelings. It's the opposite of putting on a performance. Imagine a beautifully crafted, slightly weathered leather jacket. It has character, it tells a story, and it feels real. A man who is authentic and vulnerable isn't afraid to be imperfect. He understands that true strength lies not in invincibility, but in the courage to be human. This creates a profound sense of trust and intimacy. When you are genuinely yourself, you invite others to be genuinely themselves around you, fostering a deeper, more meaningful connection. It's the ultimate signal that you are secure enough in who you are to let someone truly see you. So there you have it, gentlemen. 10 underrated traits that women find profoundly attractive. This isn't about ticking boxes or memorizing lines. It's about cultivating these qualities within yourself, allowing them to become an organic part of who you are. Because here's the secret. When you embody these traits, you're not just trying to attract a woman. You're becoming a better man, period. And when you become a better man, the right kind of woman, the one who truly appreciates depth and character, will naturally gravitate towards you. So take these insights, reflect on them, and start applying them not as a strategy, but as a way of life. The journey begins now. Thanks for watching and say goodbye, Mr. Nice. See you next time.